Hi, my name is Cameron Gott, and welcome back to the 9th Annual ADHD Awareness Expo. In just a moment, I'll be talking to you about my all-time top 3 for succeeding with ADHD. First, I'd like to encourage you to stop by the online exhibit hall and to sign up for the free virtual goodie bag filled with gifts from the Expo speakers and sponsors. In a sea of ADHD misinformation, Tara's numerous offerings from this expo to her classes and podcast are consistently accurate, helpful, and relevant, and I'm happy to be a regular contributor. So, what do I know about succeeding with ADHD? I've been an ADHD coach for almost 20 years. I've worked with successful entrepreneurs and creative leaders from all over the world to help them take action more efficiently and help them lead their teams more effectively. I'm a thought leader and author on positive accountability practices. I train and mentor ADHD coaches in 2 successful coach training programs, and I speak on a variety of topics including ADHD, coaching, accountability, effective leadership, and models for change. My global creative blog addresses the challenges and opportunities facing creative entrepreneurs and leaders with ADHD. I live smack dab in the middle of Virginia with my wife Christy, and I try to spend as much time with my kids as possible. You can find out more about me at my website, CameronGott.com. So, Cam's all-time top 3 for succeeding with ADHD. And you might be asking, how did I settle on 3 that I'm about to introduce? So I reflected on the hundreds of clients that I've worked with over the years, and I realized that there are many best practices, but that these 3 were consistent with my most successful clients. And when I mean successful, I really mean something very basic. It's when they have a sense of intention at the start of the day, a sense of consistency and control through the day, and a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. So without further delay, let's get to the top 3. Tip number 1, expand your knowledge of your ADHD. Get a sense of your own version, how it presents, how it trips you up, and how it amplifies your strengths. Start by taking your understanding of ADHD beyond the basics like distractibility, impulsivity, and forgetfulness. For example, ADHD impacts how we perceive, process, and interact with our world. And nowhere do we see this more than in our relationships. Executive function challenges will often amplify or diminish our responses, especially around feelings and emotions. It's like we have this glitchy volume control that will provide too much emotion or too little emotion. Almost like a Goldilocks phenomenon. For example, here's Betty and Tom. Betty, did you pick up the milk, Tom? Tom, of course I picked up the milk. Or consider Jack and Isabel. Jack, Isabel, I really like you and I think Isabel, gosh, why do I have so much spam in my inbox? Will you say something, Jack? So we get heightened responses and we get diminished responses. Overly impassioned responses and overly ambivalent responses. A paradoxical experience that frustrates those around us and is often maddening for the ADHD individual. And if you are leading a team, this behavior is likely impacting not only your productivity and your bottom line, but it is eroding trust in you and your organization. What to do? Here's a 3-step action plan. Stop and collect data. Assess the situation. Make a new plan. So, stop and collect data. Focusing on the facts, it's amazing how quickly facts can get lost in a heightened environment. Like investigating a crime scene, first get the facts and interview the witnesses. Before doing so, be sure to let the emotions of the moment subside. Assessing the situation. Assess without overanalysis or assigning responsibility. Ask questions instead. What do we know? What do we not know? Was there an underlying message you wanted to relate? What's triggering me? What is a better response for the situation? What could be a workaround? Making a new plan, always have some measurement of success. So, For our milk guy, Tom, his response was way heightened, right? The question about the milk was not just about the milk, but about something bigger, maybe chronic forgetting. This is how ADHD can influence a response. For Tom, he supersized it because he perceived Betty's question as some larger indictment, and he admits some sensitivity here. So ADHD can influence here by bundling massive amounts of information in the form of an emotional tsunami, where it is difficult to differentiate what is relevant and what is not. For Isabel, it's not that she doesn't have feelings for Jack. The diminished response is more likely related to effective transitioning. It's like he's ringing the doorbell and she's got the music turned way up. Let's remember also that ADHD is not the only part of the challenge. It would be short-sighted on Betty and Jack's part to think that they don't share some responsibility in the engagement, or that they're not a part of some solution. So active questioning, some vulnerability, opens the door to more fact-based dialogue. Enrolling someone you trust to engage in this dialogue can be effective too. And when you can articulate your ADHD experience beyond the basics, you can generate empathy and a willing partner to help you find a solution. Tip number 2, shift your thinking on what structure can be for you. Often, we have a love-hate relationship with structure. We can crave it, but we can also feel stifled by it. I see it with my clients trying to use systems. Cam, what I want to do in a day doesn't fit into a little 1-inch box. Or, Cam, a to-do list is where my dreams go to die. Shifting your thinking is shifting your definition of what structure can be and how it can show up. Systems like calendars and productivity apps are not structures. They're tools to help illustrate or provide insight into a structure, like how a calendar is a representation of time. Some structures just exist, like time, the seasons, the chambers of a nautilus shell. Others are fabricated, an open workspace, a work process or model, the layout of your kitchen, this shed. I encourage my clients to look at structures that develop between individuals and teams. Expectations, agreements, roles and responsibilities, even accountability. These evolve naturally whether you have an active hand in their development or not. And often in toxic environments, people will throw aside agreements and retreat to old, unhelpful roles. In all of the environments we navigate at home and work, there are structures or processes influencing our experience. For those of us with ADHD, there are certain environments where we excel and certain environments where we can really struggle. For me, I thrive in collaborative environments where roles are defined and expectations are clear. I wrote a book, I helped build a coach training program, and I built a successful coaching practice. And I know for a fact they would not have happened without positive engagements with excellent collaborators and clear outcomes. Conversely, when I work in isolation, where there's a lack of structure, or when I'm matched with a rigid individual who doesn't complement my offerings, or I'm burdened with unnecessary rules, too much structure, right? My productivity and happiness can drop considerably. In both situations, structures are contributing to my success and also diminishing my results. What to do? Stop and collect data, focusing on the facts. What agreements do you have with your key people, your significant other? What are your shared expectations? Do you have roles well defined? Assess the situation. Are your agreements working? Are you working in your best roles? 50% of the time? 70% of the time? What structures are contributing to your success in this particular environment? What structures are taking away? Make a new plan, measure success. Review your agreements. Where do you have agreement? Where can we agree to disagree? How can I boost my time in a key role? Noticing the hidden structures is not always easy in our fast-paced world. But when you pause to notice them and start to work with them, you will gain a strategic edge to complement your natural entrepreneurial assets. Tip number 3, connect to something bigger than yourself, a cause, a passion, some greater good. This is not just about having an impact, fulfillment, or motivation. This is actually about brain chemistry. William Dodson says it well. We have an interest-based attention system. There's no surprise there. The ADHD brain is wired more for context than sequence. What does that mean? It means we tend to make meaning by association, or how things are related. We appreciate the big picture and work better when the work we are doing today, right now, is tethered to some greater principle or value. When we connect to some greater good, a number of things can happen. 1, we access the power of vision. Successful people with ADHD see vision as one of their greatest assets. Accessing vision engages our imagination, our creativity, and becomes a powerful ally when we experience a setback. 2, attention for us can be at times difficult to cobble together. When we believe in something greater than us, we will often be working with others who share that same belief. This is the power of collective attention. When we veer off the path, we have others to show us the way back. A group with a common cause and a shared vision can help to remind us why we're doing what we're doing in that moment. Further, a bigger agenda or cause helps to prioritize intentions for the day, helps define effective roles, and uncover new super strengths. Don't be overly frustrated if your bigger purpose has still eluded you. Folks with ADHD have a tendency to wait for the right time or the best opportunity, thinking they have to make the right decision. Forget the idea of the right decision and embrace the idea of a good decision. The key is to have different experiences with different people in different environments. Let your experiences provide the learning and steer your way forward as you discover your bigger agenda. You will eventually light upon something close to the heart that will bring relevance, fulfillment, meaning, and facilitate production of more interest and attention. So our 3 steps: stop and collect data. Do I have a cause that I can champion? What piques my interest? What matters most? Assess. Is my current job connected to some larger cause I can get behind? How fulfilling is my current position? Make a plan. Do some research. Talk or read about people you respect who have attention systems like us. What are their interests? What are their bigger causes? How did they get their start? Design short-term experiments to have different experiences in fields that pique your interest. Seek out positive spheres that are interested in doing great work. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video on Cam's all-time top 3 for succeeding with ADHD. You can enjoy more of my unique take on ADHD by reading my blog or signing up for my newsletter at CameronGott.com. Remember to stop by the online exhibit hall and to sign up for the free virtual goodie bag if you have not done so yet. Take care.